How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're continuing the German pronouns. The German language, and this lesson we're going to be learning personal pronouns. Yesterday we were looking ich, du, and wich or wich. I don't know how to say it in German, but we're learning sentence structuring, and yeah, study with me. Let's go ahead and learn it.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our video series on Learn German for Beginners. In the last lesson, you learned about the basic sentence structure. In this lesson, we will learn various pronouns in the nominative case.
Nominative case,
You can
cool.
visit our page on patreon.com to get free worksheets, podcasts, transcripts, early access to our videos, and more.
Amazing.
So let's begin. Lektion 11.
Lektion 11.
Once again, Lektion 11.
Lektion 11.
Personalpronomen im
Personalpronomen
Nominativ.
Nominativ. Wow. Hard.
Before we begin with the list of pronouns, we should first understand what a pronoun is. Personal pronouns replace the nouns in a sentence.
Personal pronouns replace the noun in a sentence.
The pronouns make a sentence shorter and avoid the repetition of a noun
Avoid the repetition of a
in
noun.
a sentence or in a text.
Mm-hmm.
The pronouns in German are gender specific.
Specific.
Hence, the nouns should be replaced by the appropriate pronoun.
Let's see.
There are a few other things we need to consider when we are using personal pronouns. You need to know what person you're talking about. When talking about myself, I will be using first person.
Okay.
When I'm talking to someone, that someone will be the second person. And when talking about someone, that someone will be the third person.
Okay.
Another aspect to be considered is if the person is in singular or in plural. Selecting a pronoun depends on these factors. Pronouns are not only used for persons, they are also used for things. Let's look at the first set of pronouns in first person. In singular, we use ich, and in plural, we use wir.
Wir.
Here are two examples. Ich wohne in New York.
Ich wohne in New York.
Here I'm talking just about myself. Wir
wohnen in New
wohnen
York.
in New York.
Wir wohnen in New
Here I'm
York.
talking about ourselves. Also in first
Oh yeah, so she also described the sentence structure yesterday because the first person conjugated, and the second or third person here. So when the subject is like first person or I, is like Vuna with NE, and when it's like other people, second person or third person subject, it's vonim or vunim. I don't know how to say it, but like I don't know how to actually say it yet because I'm learning. But we do have en, so I just learned that yesterday. We just learned that yesterday. If you are watching the video with me,
person, but
I hope so.
plural.
Okay.
Also in first person, but plural.
Wir wohnen in New York.
Let's look at another example. Try to concentrate on the use of the pronouns ich and wir.
Ich, wir.
Ich heiße Maria.
Ich heiße Maria.
Ich komme aus Spanien.
Ich komme aus Spanien.
Ich habe ein Kind.
Ich habe ein Kind.
Wir wohnen in Berlin.
Wir wohnen in Berlin.
Maria is talking about herself.
Like I am Maria. I think I live in Spain, something like this, I guess. I have a child and no, I was born in Spain, something like this. Or I speak Spanish, I don't know, something similar to that. And I live in Berlin. I think that's kind of what the translation is, right? Something like this, or maybe am I wrong? I'm not sure. I'm just trying to understand.
Hence using the pronoun ich. As
Yeah,
soon
because the subject is I.
as
Okay.
she talks about herself and child, she uses the first person pronoun in plural, wir. Now let's look at the personal
Oh,
pronoun
she didn't say the translation, man.
in the second person.
Damn.
The situation in which you're talking to the second person can either be formal or informal. This we have already learned in the previous lessons. Here are the pronouns in the informal situation first. In singular, that is when we are talking to a single person, we use du.
Do.
And in plural, when we are talking to more than one person, we use ihr.
Ear. Do ear. Do ear.
Here's an example for each one of them.
It's crazy.
Max, wo wohnst du?
Max, wo wohnst du?
Max is a single person. Hence, we use du. Julia und Peter, wo wohnt ihr?
Julia and Peter, wo wohnt ihr?
Here we are talking to two people. Hence, we use the pronoun in plural, ihr. Do remember, since the situation is informal, you will address the people with their first names. Here are now pronouns of the second person in a formal situation. For singular, you would use here sie.
Sie.
And for plural also, that is when you're talking to more than one person, you would use sie. That should be easy to remember. Here's an example for each one of them. Herr Müller,
Herr Müller, Müller.
wohnen Sie?
Wo wohnen Sie?
And when talking to more than one person, Herr und Frau Müller,
Herr und Frau Müller,
wo wohnen Sie?
wo wohnen Sie?
Please remember to use
Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Müller, where do you live?
Sie
Wo wohnen Sie?
with a capital
Wo wohnen Sie?
S, irrespective of its position in the sentence.
Okay.
Whether it's at the beginning of a sentence or in the middle.
A gente usa o Monday para tudo, para
Hold
gerir
up,
todos
guys.
os nossos leads e fazer ali todo o controle de produtividade.
Oh my god, no.
Let's move to the personal pronouns in the third person.
Sleepy guys, sorry. Let's continue.
The personal pronouns in the third person can be in singular or in plural.
Okay, so,
Also, they are gender specific.
okay.
For masculine, you would use er.
Air,
For
air.
feminine, sie.
Z,
And for neutral, you would use s.
S, S,
And if
S,
you're talking about more than one person, you would use sie.
Z, okay.
Here are a few examples to see how you can use these pronouns. Das ist Michael.
Das ist Michael. Das ist ich. Das ist Michael.
Michael
Michael.
wohnt in London.
Michael wohnt in London.
We
Lives in London, is that
learned
it?
that pronouns are used to avoid the repetition of the nouns. Hence, Michael will be replaced with er.
Er wohnt in London.
Wohnt in London.
Wohnt in London. Okay.
Similarly, in the next example,
Can I say like Sie wohnen in London? I don't know.
das ist Michaela.
Das ist Michaela.
Michaela wohnt in Paris.
Michaela wohnt in Paris.
Or, sie wohnt in Paris.
Sie wohnt in Paris.
This sie is written with a capital S only when it's at the beginning of a sentence.
Okay.
Here's the next one. Das ist mein Buch.
Das ist mein Buch. Das ist mein Buch.
Das Buch ist alt.
Das Buch ist alt.
Or, es ist alt.
Es ist alt. It is old. It's old. Es ist out. Es ist out. Es ist out. Out.
Now let's look at the example for plural. Das sind Petra und Jürgen.
Das sind Petra und Jürgen.
Petra und Jürgen wohnen in Hamburg.
Wohnen in Hamburg.
Replacing Petra und Jürgen with
Sie wohnen in
the
Hamburg.
pronoun, you will say, sie wohnen in Hamburg.
Oh, wohnen. Sie wohnen in Hamburg. In Hamburg.
This sie is also written with a capital S only when it's at the beginning of a sentence. So we have learned 4 uses of sie in this video. If you are confused when to use which sie, you can watch our video on this topic. The link can be found below in the description.
Amazing.
Now let's summarize the personal pronouns we have just learned. Do remember, pronouns can either be in the first, second, or the third person.
Okay.
They can be in singular or in plural.
Mm-hmm.
In first person singular, you would use ich.
Ich.
That means when talking about yourself, you would use ich.
I.
Whereas in plural, you would use wir.
Wir.
That means when you talk about you and your family, or you and your friends or colleagues, then you can use wir.
Wir.
In second person, it can either be formal or informal. In informal singular, you use du, whereas in plural, you use ihr.
Ihr.
In both these cases, you would address the people with their first name. If you're talking to Anne, use du. If you're talking to Anne und Maria, use ihr.
Ihr. Mm-hmm.
In formal singular and plural both, you use sie.
Sie.
That means when talking directly to Frau Schmidt, use sie. And when talking to Frau und Herr Schmidt, then also use sie.
Okay, plural, formal.
In
Sie.
the third person singular, you use er for
masculine,
sie for feminine, and s for neutral.
S for neutral.
The
Neutral.
pronoun in plural for all three of them
Sie.
is sie.
Sie, es.
For example, if you're talking about Martin or der Lehrer, then you use er. When talking about die Freundin or Martina, then use sie.
Are these names in German?
Sie.
Okay.
When talking about a thing that's neutral, for example, a
A
book
thing?
or car, das Buch oder das Auto.
Das
Then-
Auto. Das Auto. Das Buch. Das Auto.
Then you will use the pronoun es.
Es Auto? Is
When
that
you're
it?
talking about more than one person or things indirectly. For example, when talking about Martin and Martina, then you would use sie.
Sie.
So these were the personal pronouns in the nominative case. Hope you enjoyed learning.
Alright guys, I hope you liked this video. Like I said guys, I am trying to do the whole series of learning German and trying to become fluent at a language. And as of right now, we're starting with German and French at the same time. But if you do like this type of content, I'm strongly recommend you to subscribe to the channel because we're going to be covering up all the languages. I mean, these 2 languages for now. And as the time passes by, maybe we can even try to learn more and more languages. But as of right now, I am creating this channel because I basically want to build a community of like-minded people who are trying to learn multiple languages. Okay, so if you're interested in learning more languages, connecting to other people, learning about other people's cultures, stick around because you're probably gonna love it. Okay, and although I don't know how to speak these languages fluently, English is my second language. It's not my native language, so I can relate a lot to people who are trying to learn a language because I know what it's like to learn a language by yourself. And I didn't learn English because I was born in Brazil and then I was raised in the US or any other country. But I actually learned it the hard way, which is learning by myself on the internet, watching videos without talking to anybody, pretty much just talking to myself all day. Listening to songs and I don't know, watching TV shows and just consuming English content by myself. So I do know what it feels like to feel like you're not making any progress, to feel like you're stuck, you plateaued, or the hard way. It is discouraging when everyone around you doesn't motivate you, or you don't have any reason, like externally at least, to why you're doing this. So I do know the pain. That's what I'm trying to say. And this is why we're going to go through learning a language from scratch, and especially in English, because I want to be a source of inspiration for you guys, and I hope we can do this together. So it is going to be really amazing for me if you can connect to me and help me as well, because maybe you have some stuff to teach me and maybe I can teach you some stuff, and then we can all grow this community together. And yeah, it's going to be very cool and interesting. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. I'm sorry for talking too much, venting so much. So I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.